The fifth state in the Union, but the first state in our hearts. The state of Connecticut has a long and storied history of success on and off the athletic fields, and 22 Threads is your go to apparel brand for all things CT. Visit the 22 Threads website at www.22threads.com to shop their stores and blue collar football apparel collections now. 10% of each item sold is donated to a local Connecticut nonprofit organization. Look good, do good, because you love CT. All right, we're coming to you live after the day after a really exciting win against North Carolina with Alex. So, Alex, welcome back.
Thank you for having me once again.
So, I know it's been a few weeks since we last spoke. Last time we spoke, we were just getting ready for the Empire Classic. So, what have the past few weeks been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of, learning experiences for our team, but also just a lot of excitement. I think, coming off a championship feeling is special. Just create a championship for our new team this year, something that we can build on for this upcoming season. And, we've had some big games throughout the Empire to, yesterday's against North Carolina. So, we're definitely learning a lot as a team. We're just excited to keep getting better.
So I want to look back just a little bit, just so we can look back at that Empire, and like you went off those two games there. I know, especially against Texas. Came up clutch with some shots. What did it feel like hitting those kind of shots at MSG?
It felt amazing. Really just a dream come true. I mean, it's the most famous arena in the world. So just going out there and, being able to hit those shots was awesome. But I think just as a team, we played so unbelievable out there. And it was just such a special game for everybody.
How did it feel stepping up in competition? Because you start the season, you're usually playing some mid majors, and not any offense to them, but there's a step up then to get to play some of those other power teams, and you got two pretty good teams in Indiana and Texas there. So how did it feel to get some of those types of games under your belt?
Super exciting just to go against other national brands, especially Indiana and Texas. I mean, they're well known across college basketball and they have great talent, great teams, great history. So just super exciting to play against them and just we come to UConn for those reasons to play against the big time teams and we just get super excited, super amped up to play against them and having played those two teams in the Empire State Classic, it definitely was a lot of fun.
So you go from those games, and you got a couple other mid majors, but then you go and step up again and go on the road to probably one of the toughest places in all of college basketball to go. So we'll get into the game a little bit, but just looking at the experience of getting to go to a place like Allen Fieldhouse, what was that like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. That was definitely the hardest arena to play in, I'd say on the road. Just I mean, credit to their fans. The energy was through the roof. The atmosphere was crazy. Just you could definitely see why it's hard to win at Kansas. And, it's just credit to them. And yeah, it's just an unbelievable environment. It's really one of the best environments I've played in.
I heard from fans who went that the arena was really hot. Did you feel that down on the court?
It was really hot. There was no AC during during shoot around. It felt like we were sweating a lot more than we normally would.
When you look back at that game, obviously Kansas comes out really strong out of the gate, kind of like gives that first punch there. And I think it was really impressive how the team was able to, fight back in such a tough spot on the road. What did that tell you about the team that, you were able to kind of take a couple of those punches from Kansas and really hang with them in a tough spot?
Yeah, that we're never going to give up. We're never going to back out just because, Kansas threw the first punch. We're not just going to give up. And, throughout the entire second half, we kept winning those mini wars. We talk about those 4 minute wars. We kept winning them and winning them. And, it just felt, it was a good confidence throughout the game that we kept winning them that like we could really win this game. But, things didn't go our way throughout the game. And Tristan was really the only one that had such a stellar offensive game. And no one else really seemed for it to click. So, Tristan really carried us to possibly winning that game.
Yeah, talk a little bit about his performance there. I know put up 31. It seemed like every time there was a shot that needed to be hit at the buzzer, he drained it. What's it like being on the court with a guy like that who's just on fire really for that game?
It's awesome. I mean, it was his night. So really you just try to get him the ball as much as possible. And, every time he shot, it felt like it was going in. So when he's having one of those nights, it really it really gets the team going. And he's such a special player to where, he's scoring that much, but he's also just, if not more dangerous in finding other teammates to get them going too. So, he's such a unique player, and, he really is continuing to make a name for himself out there and continuing to prove himself to people.
As you guys look back on that game, whether it was film or just kind of reflecting on it, what do you think were some of the biggest lessons you guys took away from it to apply to the rest of the season, especially from a basketball standpoint there?
I think it's our defense. I think our defense wasn't as sharp as it needed to be against them. We knew offensively that we just have to be sharper and execute a lot better, but we know offensively our shots are going to fall. So just not worrying so much about the shots, but more on the execution side offensively. Then defensively, we weren't as good as what Coach Hurley preaches for us every day in practice.
So you go from that loss at Kansas, first loss of the season, and there's really no time to like take a breath and no one to kind of get you guys back into rhythm. You got to go play another top 10 team at MSG in North Carolina. What's it like being in a situation where it's like, hey, you don't really get a game to catch your breath or get back into shape, get your hand feeling a little bit better? Some other guys who are beat up. I mean, you got to go face another top 10 team.
Yeah, honestly, exciting to get out there to play against another top 10 team just because those days after Kansas leading up to the North Carolina game, they were miserable. I mean, the practices, coaches are on our, they're on us. And then they really are just really cranking up the intensity, cranking everything up. So it's like, it's miserable just because we lost. So and then we head into North Carolina trying to release that anger that we had from the Kansas game and the anger that we felt throughout the past days of how much better we knew we could have played, and really just release it on to our next opponent, which is North Carolina. So super exciting. And then of course on top of that, we're playing in Madison Square Garden again, where we were 2-0 before, so we just had
Yeah.
ultra confidence going in.
While we're on the topic of MSG, I know UConn fans always show out there. Were you impressed with the turnout there?
Of course, every time. Of course I am. Hearing the UConn chants in MSG doesn't get better.
I've got to say, for like opposing teams, Indiana like probably had to be one of the better
Mhm.
opposing fans that I've seen show up at MSG when I think back on all the UConn games I've been there.
Carolina did a great job too. And then shout out to our UConn fans for the Kansas chants too. When they were in
Yeah.
Kansas, they did some great chants there. We heard them.
Yeah, I know a lot of people made that trip out there. I mean, I feel like from a player's perspective, that's like a bucket list place to play, and from a fan's perspective to
Yeah.
get to go out and be a part of it is
Mhm.
also pretty cool. As we're looking at and talking a little bit about last night's game against North Carolina, obviously you come in, fingers are all taped up and stuff. Shot might not be falling as you wanted to early on. How do you keep yourself motivated and trying to, stay involved, on other parts of the game when the shot just might not be falling?
Yeah, it's really just trying to find other ways to impact the game. And I think that was the biggest thing the coach's message to me during before the game is that find other ways to impact the game. We know your shot's going to fall eventually, but right now it's not falling. But keep shooting. If you're open, shoot it. They have ultra confidence in me to shoot it. They tell me to shoot it every time. But then also, get on the offensive glass, make cuts, screen, just do the little things to help us win. And I think having that mindset going into the game in which I'm not going to worry about my shot and just go in, try and do the little things, I think it gives me more confidence throughout the game, and it gives, just more energy for our team. So I think for myself personally, that helped me a lot.
I would say I see that first three fall for you in the second half, and I could see it in your face. Like there's some relief there. How did it feel to see that one, go in? And it seems like things just kind of really snowballed for you and picked up from that spot on.
It felt good. It felt really good. I'm not gonna lie. I know I have a lot of trust in my shot and I have a lot of confidence in it, but it's different when you finally see it go in. So I was definitely super excited, but more excited that we got the win, I'd say. Way more excited.
Looking back at some of these power matchups here that you've gone up against, power conference matchups, who's the toughest matchup for you, from a defensive standpoint? Because you've gone up against some really tough guys.
Yeah. Oh, I'm they're all so different in their own ways. Like Malik from Indiana and KJ from Kansas, they're both big body fours to
Yeah.
where, they just try to punish you in the paint, but they score in the paint so differently that it makes it challenging. Like Malik's more of a post and KJ's, a bruiser is going to be super physical. And then you had Harrison Ingram from North Carolina who he could shoot it, but then you also go in the paint too. So it was definitely, and then Brock Cunningham from Texas, my matchup, he's just straight another kind of similar to KJ in which he's just going to offensive glass you, but he could also shoot it. So honestly, they were all so different and unique in their own ways to where I wouldn't say they're necessarily tough. I just think you just had to go in with a different mindset in each one, just really be prepared.
I'm going to take a quick break from the interview to tell you about my friends at Martin Rosol's Meats. This fourth generation Connecticut family business produces kielbasa, hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats using Martin Rosol's very own original recipes. Their products can be found in grocery stores, delis, restaurants, and hot dog stands throughout the state. And if you're looking for your fill right away, check out their retail store in New Britain. For more information, visit martinrosolsinc.com and go support a UConn fan-owned business. And now, back to the interview.
To guard their strengths.
Yeah, how hard is it having to transition from going up against, a bruiser to a guy who can pop out and shoot, and just having to, switch up how you're playing these guys, in such a short amount of time too?
Yeah, no, it can definitely be difficult going from, for this most recently, KJ Adams to Harrison Ingram, just because they play so completely different. But I think really it starts in the practices. Sometimes I'll guard Jalen Stewart, who could shoot it, and he could attack it as well. So just really getting reps against him has helped me a lot. Then that's the same when sometimes I have to match up against Sampson, who's going to try to post me up when he gets the opportunity. So really, I think it starts in practices, but then more importantly, the coaching staff just does a great job of the film, the scout, and they really make sure we know like the opponent's moves and like when we got to see it coming.
So I've got to ask, as the season has gone along, like I feel like I've learned more and more about Cam. Like, coming into the season, it seemed like, hey, this guy is going to just be a shooter. Then you see him, what he's able to do from bring the ball up, the passer, tough on the glass too. And then last night I learned he's a little yappy. Is that something that surprised you, or is that no surprise?
That's no surprise to anybody. You probably heard stories of him, like how competitive he is, how, how he's just a whole nother personality on the basketball court. And, you could hear it all you want, but then now that, I guess everyone in the world has seen it now with the not the meme, the GIF going around now
Yeah.
and him punching the air. Now you start to see who Cam is. And off the court, he's completely different than how he is on the court. He just has that gear, that switch that turns him into the Cam that we love on the basketball court. And I didn't realize that he did that until I saw it after the game, and I started laughing. It was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, between that him John a little bit with some of the North Carolina guys, like this is a new Cam. I hadn't seen him before.
Oh, we see it all the time in practice. We see it all the time.
Does everyone want a pair of his shoes now after seeing what he did with those new shoes last night?
I assume so. You got to. He played one hell of a game against them. So shoot, I'd want a pair of his shoes too. Make him a size 15. Let me get a pair if I want to. If I'm gonna play like that, let me get a pair.
I feel like last night was the first night. Like I started seeing some stuff on social where it's like UConn's starting to play like a little bit of a villain role. Like I feel like they've kind of played up the underdog card a little bit as like they've been building back to success. But now as you guys have been just beating up on some of these teams, like it seems like other fan bases are starting to get really frustrated and annoyed when they go up against you. What's it like to kind of play that type of role?
I didn't even know we were playing that role at first. I knew a lot of people hated us, but I didn't know we were the villain. But it's cool. I mean, it just shows how good of a program we are, how historic, how successful we are at the moment, to where everyone's going to really want to beat us and everyone's going to give us their best shots. So, I'd take it as a compliment, honestly. I love it.
Yeah, I remember Derek Jeter used to always say how much he loved to get booed when he'd go somewhere. It's a sign that people respect you a little bit. So you got Arkansas Pine Bluff on Saturday. Then you get almost a week off before you head out to Seattle to play Gonzaga. Just given the state of the team, with everyone kind of dealing with some sort of bang up, here or there, how big is it to be able to get some time after Saturday's game? Just kind of, I know you guys are going hard in practice and everything, but just kind of add a game action and to kind of rest the bodies a little bit more.
Super important. We're definitely going to need the rest and, just a time off, especially, I don't think there's school either that week either. So it's going to be super down and super chill for us. So, it'll definitely be super important, especially heading into Seattle, which is going to be another crazy environment and a big time matchup against them. So, it'll be super important, just to get everybody healthy, and then everyone's getting healthy, just continue to work on ourselves and work on the weaknesses that we have.
Yeah, as you head towards, that game, next last couple games of the non-conference, and then head towards Big East play. If there's a weakness or two, you're particularly working on, what is it?
I think it could be our defense. I think defensively we haven't been as sharp or as, you know, to the level that the coaches want. So I think continue to work on the defensive end, and then, offensively just continue to work on the execution of plays. Really, I think everything can get better. I think really you just look at everything. There's always stuff that you can nitpick. So yeah, I think really everything we could just sharpen up and, just continue to get better.
As you wrap, non-conference with that Gonzaga game, then it's time to already start talking Big East play. How excited are you to get back into the conference swing of things?
That's crazy. We're already
I know.
I'm super excited. I mean, we're seeing it right now. The Big East, it's loaded with talent, loaded with competition. So many teams in the league have such great wins, and if they don't have the win, they competed closely with another super talented team. So it's gonna be one hell of a league. It's gonna be super tough. We gotta be ready for it. And any given day, anything could happen. So we just gotta be ready.
You gonna throw on Marquette, Texas tonight?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do right after this. I'm watching that for sure.
Just as we're talking about Big East play, it seems like guys across the team, really putting up some great performances in the non-conference. Yet somehow, none of you seem to be able to make Big East Player of the Week. You've been snubbed before from some of these awards. What's going to take to get you guys up there a little bit more?
I think just winning. We just got to keep winning, and I think eventually we'll get up there. Yeah, I think we just got to keep winning, keep playing how we're playing, and then we'll definitely see a couple of us throughout the entire year up there.
Yeah. All right, got some fun ones that have come in here. As we head towards the end of the semester, favorite class you took this semester?
Favorite class I took? I'm gonna say biology. Samson and I, we were lab partners this year. So, we have our lab every Thursday night that we spend 2 hours in. We looked at a polar bear this year. Sam dissected a heart, I think, when I had my wisdom teeth out. So he had to do the heart by himself. I think it's definitely a hard class, but I think it was just fun just to be in the class with Sam.
I'm just trying to picture you two, like with the goggles on and everything in the lab, doing all.
We did a great job. Our TAs say we do a great job.
Uh, Coming up on the holidays here, gift you'd want for the holidays this year?
Gift I'd want on the holidays. Can I say go undefeated in December,
Yeah,
or
yeah, sure.
undefeated in December and January, because we're counting January as New Year's. Those 2 months. That's the gift I want to
All
win.
right. All
I
right.
want to win.
Yeah, we'll see. It's attainable there.
No, if not wins, well, that's obviously number one. But like tangible item,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, give us a physical one.
physical item, electrical scooter. It's
Okay.
for campus. Coach Hurley knows I want an electrical scooter still. So hopefully I could get one from my parents or something. We'll see.
Does anyone else on the team have those?
Um, Maybe Donovan. I feel like Donovan does, but I have no idea. I don't think no one else really does.
What's it like? Was he bring up Donovan? Seeing him go up against some of these other like really good big guys. When you're talking about like top tier of centers in college basketball, I mean it's him up there with a guy like Baycott, with a guy like Hunter Dickinson. What's it been like getting to see those matchups?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think he was really looking forward to those matchups going up when you looked at the schedule. So I think he did a great job against them. And, they're super tough matchups. I mean, they're basically automatic double doubles. So you'd have to really give 150% when you got to go up against them to contain them a little bit. So I think he did a great job. They're super talented, and he's so much younger than them too, to where they have so much college experience that he just learned so much from those two players, and it'll definitely be translated into future matchups where he could dominate at the center position.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how do you learn from those type of matchups? Because I know we talked about this a little bit last year when you were going up against some of these Big East guys for the first time, and then the difference the second time you went up against them. So how do you kind of change your game a little bit and learn from those past experiences?
Yeah, I think physicality is definitely the first one, at least for myself, and I guess for Donovan too, obviously with Hunter and Baycott. So definitely just getting used to the physicality that they'll bring when they're making moves on offense and defense, but then bringing the physicality back to them. So just like a physicality battle. Then really just staying mentally strong, I would say. I think, you get scored on a couple times, or, you don't get the rebound or something doesn't go your way, you can start getting down on yourself. So just always being positive towards the matchup, even though it's hard to do, you just got to continue to keep going.
All right. Well, Alex, I really appreciate you taking some time during this gauntlet that you guys have been through. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen a UConn team go up against it's going to be three top 10 teams in basically a week and a half or 2 weeks. So
Exactly.
no rest for the weary, and you guys certainly beat up in a little bit weary there.
No, no, we'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah. Gonzaga will still be top 10 when we play them. So it'll be another exciting one.
Yeah, no, a lot of fun stuff. And then next time we talk, we'll be getting ready to get into all the fun of the Big East and kick that off. So, Alex, as always, really appreciate the time. Heal up the hand, and we'll talk soon.
The hand will be fine. Thank you so much.